here to tell you that on the final day, there'll be many disappointments. Here comes somebody, he wants to get to heaven, and he's knocking at the door. And God said, who is there? Who is knocking there?
I am Rhoda.
Your servant. He said, Lord, Lord, don't you know me?
We were singing together.
I preached, I performed miracles, I prophesied, I did many good and wonderful things, and Jesus will say he didn't recognize them.
How can you say he never knew me?
You are not children of God. You are just going about doing self-made, man-made activities.
Jesus said, I never knew you.
I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Here comes, they call them virgins.
10 virgins.
5 wise, 5 foolish.
They were virgins. They were virgins. In a crooked world, they were virgins. They kept themselves. And the Bible said these 10 virgins went out to go and wait for the Lord, for the bride. For the groom. They went out. I say out of where? They went out of the world system. They went out of every pleasure. They went out of everything else to wait for the coming of the king.
Jesus himself said they were foolish.
The oil inside their lamps went out, was dried up, and their light began to go down.
Because they thought they were going to heaven. They thought they had everything made. And they were in the same company, in the same team with the wise virgins.
Unfortunately, before the king came, the Bible said because the bridegroom tarried, they all slept. And as they all slept,
and at midnight, the trumpet, the bridegroom came.
They were all awoken. There was a revival.
And the voice pealed out, the bridegroom has come.
There was a waking up of everybody. But some woke up only to condemnation. Some woke up to meet the Lord.
And they tuned their lamps. And the wise virgins turned it up enough to see the way. And they went with the bridegroom.
These other 5 that we say were foolish, they even started begging their colleagues, please borrow us some little oil, for our lamp is going out. And I was surprised that even these sisters that have learned benevolence, they have learned how to give, they have been in fellowship with one another. They've been singing together. That day, they lost their sense of communion. Did you hear what they said? Say, lest it be insufficient for you and for us, you better go out and buy.
And the foolish virgins, they knew they needed oil. We'll get it another time, not today. They knew they had lamps, but they didn't have extra oil. They didn't have enough grace to live, waiting for the bridegroom. And eventually, after the wise virgins had, entered, the door was closed.
And I said, Lord, this is terrible. It's terrible. The men that have left all, they went away from the world system. They were waiting for you. Why is it that just because they did not have sufficient oil, you did not manage them into the kingdom? Lord, why now? Why now?
Jesus told the parable. And he told the parable for a reason. And it's going to happen like that for many professing so-called believers at the end of time.
And I thought that because they were 10, 5 had lamps burning. Abi? And the other 5, their own lamp was going down. What is wrong if 2 of them pair up to do what? To share one lamp? Is it not just to see the road to meet the Lord? Again, I was bothered that it was not possible to share the lamp. It was not possible to share the light that is not your own. It is not possible to hide behind someone else who has a lamp, so that as he takes a step, you also take a step behind him. It is not going to be possible. Every man must come with his own lamp. And unfortunately, at midnight, these 5 sisters, they went out to go and buy oil. Again, I was afraid. Jesus had said several times, he said, come to me, buy without money. I will anoint you. I will fill your lamp with oil. How come that this sister did not have extra oil, and they needed to go to at midnight hour, to go and buy oil? Whosoever is selling oil at midnight is not a sincere man. You can't get sincere oil for heaven at midnight hour. By the time they came back, the door was shut.
And the foolish virgins came and they knocked at the door. Lord, Lord. They knew him as Lord. They didn't really believe him as Lord. We're virgins. Although we didn't have enough oil when you came, open for us. And Jesus will say, depart from me. I never knew you.
They must have started calling the sisters inside. Sister Deborah, you know we were singing together. I am Rhoda, who used to back you up when you sang. Hey, the Lord, I am Rhoda. How can you say he never knew me? I don't know whether Deborah was able to answer Rhoda, but I imagine how Deborah must have said, such time have passed. Face your business. I'm facing my own journey with him. I'm sorry I couldn't help you.
Many people on the final day will be surprised. They've done church to charity. They've done religion, and yet on the final day, they have not been wise enough to have enough grace that will make them ready on that final day.
Knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade men.